Selected 1. Pay close attention. I must deliver a crucial and urgent message today. Furthermore, not everyone should hear this message. You will feel uneasy and depart if you do not follow God's divine path, and if your heart is not in line with the truth. However, you will stick around if you're genuinely chosen and a true follower of God, because you were led to this message at the perfect time. You did not receive this by chance. This meeting was set up by heaven. What I'm going to tell you will alter your perception of who you are and how you interpret your experiences. It will give you strength, serenity, and clarity. Many of you have already experienced it. People give you more attention than usual. Their mouths are still shut, but their eyes linger. They look at you, but they remain silent, and you're left wondering why. After reading this message, you will stop doubting yourself and comprehend the spiritual significance of that silence. Before we move on, you need to hear something that will truly calm your heart. So stay with me through to the very end. Selected ones, provide the video's link. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, activate the bell icon, and forward this message to the people you have selected, in order for them to also receive this revelation. And make a comment. Declare in the comments that you are completely in line with God's will for your life and that you are protected by God. The second section is titled The Invisible Mark: Why Your Presence Disturbs Rooms. I want you to take a moment to calm down and listen to the one I've chosen. What you're going through is not psychological imagination, nor is it random. Something that is invisible to the naked eye has been placed upon you, but it's felt profoundly. Scripture mentions it in a variety of ways, but I'll explain it today in a way that will be easy for your spirit to comprehend. Those that God chooses are marked in an invisible way. It's a mark of assignment rather than pride or superiority. This mark is not very loud. It doesn't make an announcement. It doesn't require notice, but it's heavy. Additionally, the presence of weight alters the atmosphere in any space. This explains why you can enter a space in silence and still feel it. People look at you. You remain silent. Nothing out of the ordinary was done by you. However, when you entered the room, something changed. Not everyone stares at you out of admiration. They occasionally stare because something has upset their inner world. Their routines are disrupted by your presence. You unintentionally bring order into chaos. You effortlessly bring serenity into chaos. I don't think you learned that. God developed that in you over time, frequently through pressure, isolation, and quiet. I want you to fully comprehend this. Thus, you cease to doubt yourself. Before you even open your mouth, your presence speaks. A long time before you speak, you've already communicated something. It conveys honesty. It conveys self-control. It conveys depth. Additionally, a lot of people aren't used to being around someone who doesn't let security in. As you can see, the majority of people and spaces must be legitimate, gated, recognized, or authorized. They speak rapidly. They provide an explanation for themselves. They attempt to fill the void because it reveals them. However, you are unique. You feel at ease being motionless. You are anchored even if you are unaware of it. And people who lead emotionally ungrounded lives experience tension as a result of that anchor. That is why silence frequently accompanies the staring. Their goal is to read you. They're attempting to categorize you in a way that makes sense to them. However, you don't fit into their typical categories. You don't make enough noise to be ignored. You are not familiar enough to exert control, nor are you weak enough to ignore. Thus, they watch the selected one. This is critical to your recovery. You are not being rejected if you're silenced. It's not rude. It is a mixture of uncertainty and recognition. Your spirit possesses a certain authority that doesn't require consent. Authority also causes people to hesitate. They measure their words as a result. They become wary as a result, even if they are unaware of the reason. Some people believe that you see more than you admit and that you know more than you disclose. Even that awareness can be unnerving. Someone naturally slows down when they realize they can't read you. They observe. They fall silent. Something in them feels exposed in your presence, not because you threaten them, Now I want to gently speak to your heart. Stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. You are not supposed to lessen the blessings that God has given you. You are not supposed to act modestly so that others can unwind. It's not cruelty to cause discomfort. Contrast is what it is. When darkness tries to conceal something, light does not apologize. Many of you were trained by life to stay quiet, to blend in, to avoid attention. God allowed that season to shape humility in you. But you have to realize this reality now, even in silence. Even when you remain silent, you are noticed. People feel the testimony of your presence before they even comprehend it. Those who are spiritually hungry are also drawn to this invisible mark. Some people stare because they feel secure in your presence. Something about your composure calms them, even if they don't understand why. People stare because they believe their conscience, not you, is judging them. And some stare simply because they recognize strength that does not need to prove itself. You have to learn to sit calmly in that situation. You do not allow anyone an explanation for why you carry yourself the way you do. God shaped you deliberately. He let you be refined by pressure. He let you grow up in silence. He permitted miscommunication to fortify you. And now the residue of that process follows you into spaces. I'll say this slowly so you can absorb it deeply. Your aggressiveness does not make you intimidating. You are grounded, which makes you unsettling. You're not being watched because you're weird. Because you are uncommon, people watch you. Stability in a broken world feels foreign to many people. You are also protected by the invisible mark you carry. It establishes separation without animosity. It maintains restricted access without requiring enforcement. God did not intend for everyone to have easy access to you. Because you remind people that they can't control you, some doors have closed. Peace enters your mind at this point. This doesn't need to be fixed. It doesn't need to be softened. You do not need to become more approachable by lowering your standards or dimming your awareness. What God placed on you is intentional. It will draw those who should approach and drive away those who shouldn't. So take a deep breath the next time you see the stairs. Do not tense up. Don't doubt yourself. Do not rush to fill the silence. Let them see. Allow them to experience whatever comes to mind. Managing their responses is not your task. Maintaining alignment is your task. Selected one. Your presence disrupts rooms because it carries truth, without making any noise. Furthermore, truth is not debatable. It just stands. Section 3. Fear remains silent when spirit acknowledges the chosen one. I want you to listen to this section slowly because it's where a lot of misconceptions are finally cleared up. Not every stare you receive comes from confusion. Some are the result of recognition, and recognition combined with fear frequently results in silence. Spirit can identify spirit at a certain level before the mind has a chance to explain it. Language is not necessary for this recognition. An introduction is not necessary. When you meet certain people, it happens silently, profoundly, and immediately. Even if they are unable to describe what makes you unique, they have an innate sense that you're not like the others. And a pause is created by that sensing moment. Many people are reactive rather than perceptive in their daily lives. Thus, when they experience an uncontrollable or inexplicable emotion, their natural reaction is to cease speaking. Words feel unsafe in that moment. Silence becomes their shield. You must understand this. Thus, you cease internalizing responses that were never directly related to you. When you are around, some people become quiet because they feel noticed in a way they're not used to. You don't purposefully look into their soul. You're not passing judgment on them, but your presence carries awareness, and it's hard to hide when you're aware. Some people sense that you have a close relationship with God. Even though they might not say those things, their spirit is aware of authority when it comes into contact with it. Furthermore, casual behavior is not encouraged by authority. When individuals sense it, they instinctively measure themselves. They start to be wary. They decide to keep quiet because it feels dangerous to talk loosely. This explains why you frequently observe that people who used to be confident and talkative suddenly become reserved around you. It confuses you. You question whether you made a mistake. You didn't. In your presence, their customary social mask failed to function. And when a mask slips, silently, fear rises. Panic is not always a sign of fear. At times, it appears to be a combination of restraint and respect. Sometimes it looks like someone watching you carefully, speaking less and listening more, not sure how to go about it. Hatred is not that kind of fear. The inability to know how to interact with someone who feels spiritually rooted. Selected 1. Some people have the ability to predict your future before you do. They feel that you are becoming something, even if you yourself are still walking through the process. They're uneasy about that awareness. When someone realizes they are ahead on a path they never had the courage to pursue or gave up on, they turn to silence as a defense. Here's what I want to say gently and clearly about something important. Those who remain silent around you are not necessarily opposed to you. A few are in the process of processing. The lives of some people are being measured. Some people struggle with conviction. They had no idea how they would feel that day. Your presence becomes the mirror. They weren't ready to investigate. Scripture repeatedly demonstrates this pattern. People did not always rush to speak when prophets entered a room. They observed. They paid attention. They bided their time. There was weight in the room. In the presence of someone with divine insight, even kings hesitated. Truth demands respect, not because the prophet called for silence. You're not walking around trying to be deep. You're not attempting to scare anyone. However, you become more adept at listening than speaking. You now know how to act without trying to attract attention. And that alone sets you apart from a lot of people who rely on noise to survive. Fear is diverted by noise. Silence forces honesty. People often become silent around you because they are unable to divert their attention from their current emotions. Thus, they observe, they research, they wait for something to be revealed by you that clarifies the reason behind their feelings. This is where you need to contribute. It is not your job to make them feel better. It is not necessary to be friendly in order to allay their fears. You are allowed to remain calm, steady, and present without explanation. Your spiritual authority includes that serenity. Some people choose to remain silent because they fear being exposed by thoughtless remarks. In your presence, they fear that open communication could expose hidden agendas. Your presence encourages honesty, and not everyone is ready for that. Right now, I want to make you feel better. Self-blame becomes a habit for many chosen ones. You think you've done something wrong when the room becomes quiet. You think you're awkward. You believe that you are either insufficient or excessive. That habit needs to be broken. The lack of response you experience is not a sign of failure. It is evidence of impact. Because it listens, fear also remains silent. Fear seeks to learn more. It seeks to determine whether it is safe to confront, or ignore you. And when it cannot quickly decide, it chooses observation instead of confrontation. Some people are attracted to you, but they are unsure of how to show it. They sense wisdom, stability, or peace in you, but they do not have the language to engage with it. They look at you, expecting you to take the lead. I'm hoping you'll talk first. I'm hoping you'll ease their burden. Selected 1. People don't need your help to overcome their reluctance. God will open someone's mouth when the time is right for them to connect with you. Silence from someone who is supposed to be far away will shield you from needless involvement. At this point, discernment becomes your ally. Not all looks are invitations. Not all quiet is a sign of appreciation. Furthermore, not all quiet people are destined to be near. Learn to observe without anxiety. Learn to stay grounded and avoid making assumptions. It is not your job to interpret every response. It is your responsibility to stay in sync. When spirit recognizes spirit, there is often a pause. And when there is fear, silence implies that it is not a bad thing. Information is what it is. So the next time you notice eyes watching you and mouths staying closed, relax your shoulders. Remain in the moment. Remain composed. You're not being judged. They're sensing you. And sensing always comes before understanding. Selected 1. Words become secondary when spirit recognizes spirit. Additionally, fear remains silent when it is unable to communicate in a safe manner. The unsettling mirror, Section 4. They are reminded of what they left behind by you. Selected 1. I want you to hear this part slowly, because it carries healing if you let it settle. One of the main reasons people avoid talking to you isn't because of who you are. Rather, it's because of what you make them feel. Your presence turns into a mirror, and not everyone is prepared to confront what it reflects. Nobody is accused by you. You don't lecture them. You avoid confronting them. However, something in your life subtly reminds them of the vows they made to God in the past. Values they once held and paths they once considered but chose not to walk. Words are not necessary for that reminder. You were faithful in ways they weren't, and that's why it happened. Long before they gave up on religion, many people gave up on their calling. They learned how to survive, how to blend in, how to numb themselves. But they never forgot the realization that God was expecting more of them. They feel uneasy when they come across someone who still exudes that sincerity. This is the point of silence. Speaking would require honesty. To speak would be to acknowledge regret. Speaking would require acknowledging distance from God they have worked hard to ignore. They stare instead of speaking. They watch. Even though you never compare yourself to them, they bear the burden of comparison. Selected 1. You don't have to bear this burden. Their internal conflict is not your fault. You're not condemned by your life. It serves as a reminder. And for people who have learned to live without conviction, reminders can be painful. Because of the noise your peace makes, some people stop talking around you. They've learned to cope with distraction, compromise, and anxiety. Their internal imbalance gets louder when they're close to someone who is anchored. The only thing they can do to deal with that internal conflict is to remain silent. To stop misinterpreting reactions, you need to have a clear understanding of this. When someone is uncomfortable in your presence, it does not imply that you lack kindness. It indicates alignment. Misalignment is uncomfortable when it is aligned. Darkness is not attacked by light. It exposes it, and people who are unwilling to change seldom embrace revelation. Some people used to pray in the same way that you do now. They used to believe as you do now. They had once put their faith in God with fire and innocence. But life pressured them, disappointed them, or scared them. Slowly, they compromised. They stifled their conscience gradually. They can't help but remember their former selves when they see you. That memory does not come gently. It is accompanied by grief. It comes with regret. They don't want to respond to the questions it poses. Thus, they steer clear of dialogue. They stay away from depth. They opt for distance disguised as civility. Selected 1. Your natural tendency to dim yourself for other people's comfort is something I want to help you overcome. It is not your place to dim your light so that others can't see you clearly. Your faith was not preserved by God, so you could offer an apology. Your life is a testimony, even when you say nothing. Some people are afraid to interact with you because they believe that being close to you could reawaken something they have worked so hard to suppress. They're not prepared to adapt. They're not prepared to give up. And deep down, they know that being close to you would make pretending harder. This is why you must stop trying to over-explain your intentions. You have to quit attempting to demonstrate your innocence. Not all silence is hostile. It is self-preservation at times. They're defending the version of themselves that they have come to terms with. As a teacher and someone who has traveled this path, I want to speak right to your heart. It is not your job to save everyone from their history. When the truth became too burdensome, Jesus himself permitted people to quietly leave. He didn't follow up with justifications. He let silence do its work. This has a deeper level as well. Some people look at you because they think you're disciplined. They observe restraint. They see that you don't follow every crowd or give in to every impulse. They're reminded by that discipline of what life might have been like if they had made different decisions. Do not assume that a chosen person's discomfort is a sign that you are not connecting with them, even if there is no judgment present. You are not supposed to connect with everyone on the same level. Some are only supposed to observe your journey from afar. Rejection is not that distance. It's a design. People who are deeply compromised feel uneasy around you, while those who are deeply broken are drawn to you. That is not coincidence. Healing is the goal of brokenness. Make a concession. Tries to hide. Not hiding, but healing is what your presence offers. Sometimes you leave a conversation wondering why it felt so heavy, uncomfortable, or tense. You did not create that heaviness. Truth activated it. And there's always a choice with truth. Face it or flee it. Many people run away in silence. I want you to let go of the guilt you didn't deserve. You are not arrogant because you stand firm. You are not cold because you are selective. You don't overshare, so you're not aloof. You've grown up. Furthermore, people who are still avoiding growth are frequently intimidated by maturity. Silence follows you for this reason. People can wrestle with themselves in silence. They can avoid saying something they can't take back by remaining silent. They can maintain some degree of control over their image by remaining silent. Chosen one, do not chase conversation to ease tension that God allowed for a reason. Silence can be protective in certain situations. They spare you needless emotional strain. They keep people from becoming too close too soon. They save your energy for connections related to your task. Allow me to firmly establish this fact. You don't live your life to please everyone. It's supposed to be loyal. Comfort is fleeting. Being faithful never ends. And those who have learned to settle are unnerved by the quiet authority that comes with faithfulness. The mirror you carry will continue to reflect truth wherever you go. A few will walk away. Some will become interested. Eventually, some will come back with inquiries. Your responsibility is not to control the outcome. It is your duty to continue being the person that God has created you to be. Thus, when others look at you without saying anything, do not assume rejection. Never assume that you won't succeed. Additionally, avoid assuming superiority. Assume a meeting. Imagine that a sacred object came into contact with an unresolved issue. In that area, remain composed. Take a breath. Don't back down from kindness. Keep your head down. Without apologizing, the mirror is silent. It simply reflects in chosen one. They frequently see in you what they once wished they could see in themselves. Section 5. Before using your voice, God trains you in silence. Selected 1. This is the point at which your confusion starts to give way to tranquility. You have probably questioned why God permits you to be seen more often than you are invited, watch more often than you are involved, and notice more often than you are included. This isn't punishment. There's a reason for it. It's getting ready. Before entrusting His chosen with power, God has always trained them in silence. God is far more interested in your depth than your visibility. Noise fosters ego, and silence fosters discernment. People are taking part in a season that God has planned for your refinement when they observe you in silence. Even if they are unaware of it, gently consider this. Before being poured, a vessel is tested. In the same manner, a sword is tempered before being used. God permits you to go through seasons of being watched without justification, questioned, defended, assessed, and validated. This is the formation of inner authority. Your message would be weakened if God gave you a loud voice before grounding your spirit. Attention would be diverted if He raised you before fortifying your self-control. He thus lets silence be your teacher. He lets miscommunication turn into punishment. He lets solitude help you become a better listener. Selected 1. When there are few outside voices, silence teaches you how to hear God clearly. Internal clarity rises. Prayer-shaped intuition teaches you to trust it. You get used to reacting slowly. You discover that not all thoughts and emotions need to be expressed. For this reason, God lets people observe you without getting to know you well. While you are still developing, observation without access keeps you safe. Not everyone should be able to watch your formation up close. Some people are only supposed to see the broad strokes of what God is doing, not the specifics. You may have observed that people are at ease observing you from a distance, but are reluctant to approach you. Although it filters intentions, that distance is not coincidental. Those who are just interested won't say anything. Respect will eventually be shown by those who are in agreement. God teaches you to feel at ease in this area. Feeling at ease without explanation. At ease not being protected. At ease not being understood completely. Misunderstanding will follow you into every higher level that God takes you to. So this consolation is essential. Silence will overwhelm you later if you can't handle it now. You will be crushed by criticism later if you require constant affirmation now. God is fortifying your inner core so that you won't be destabilized by outside forces. Selected 1. To ease your mind, allow me to explain this clearly. Your spiritual training includes having people observe you silently. It teaches you not to look for approval. It teaches you to speak with fruit rather than words. It teaches you to stay grounded in the absence of feedback. Many of you learned early on how to defend your feelings, defend your intentions, and justify yourself in order to survive. God is training that reflex with gentleness. He's teaching you that authority doesn't constantly justify itself. Over time, authority is acknowledged and misused. That's why sometimes your silence feels heavy. You're breaking old habits. You're picking up self-control. And power that has learned patience is restraint. Examine the ways that God acts in the Bible. He frequently prepares in secret before making his reveal. Moments of public clarity are preceded by years of silence. There is more to this season than meets the eye. It's concentrated. We're shielding some of you from early relationships. Now, if people talked freely, attachments would develop too soon. God restricts speech in order to maintain concentration. He permits scrutiny without closeness. Thus, your identity is still based on him and not on what other people think. Additionally, you're learning how to discern other people. You can read alignment, intention, and energy when people remain silent. You discover that a person's words are frequently their most dishonest aspect. Speech could never reveal as much as silence. Selected 1. This is therapy for the mind and soul. Don't fight the silence if you let it be. Don't take it as a lack. Don't rush the seasons. God intended for you to grow up. You're not in the rear. They're fortifying you. Your nervous system is being shaped by the silence around you. It teaches you to maintain composure in the face of uncertainty. It teaches you to have faith in God without needing constant confirmation. These lessons are not trivial. They are fundamental. God is aware that the future he has planned for you will put you in situations where everyone is watching, listening, and where every word has an impact. He is now instructing you on how to bear that burden without fear. You must stop asking because of this. Why won't they approach me and ask, what is God teaching me here? Stability, patience, and self-confidence are frequently the answers. Eventually, people will talk. There will be questions. Acknowledgement will come, but only when your soul is prepared to face it fearlessly. Stay motionless until then. Stay there. Stay in line. Selected 1. Before he uses your voice, God trains you in silence, as well as when you get old. Section 6. Why you can't give an explanation. Power is protected by silence. Selected 1. Many of you lose your peace here without even noticing it. The stares are palpable. You can feel the silence, and you have an innate desire to explain yourself, to make the space softer, to ensure the comfort of others, to demonstrate your normalcy, friendliness, and innocence. You have to let go of that instinct. I'm telling you now with authority and clarity. What God has already approved is not for you to explain. Rather than humility, explanation frequently stems from insecurity. An old survival pattern is exposed when you feel the need to explain yourself before being questioned. Many of you discovered early on that miscommunication resulted in rejection. Thus, you gained the ability to communicate your way to safety. God is now breaking the habit to set you free rather than to make you cold. Power is protected by silence. When it is continuously attempting to defend itself, power leaks. Take a close look at Jesus' movements. He took his time answering all of the questions about himself. When it was appropriate, he spoke, but when it wasn't, he said nothing. He was not weak when he was silent. It was discernment, and you are developing the same discernment. You put yourself in a position you were never supposed to be in when people look at you and remain silent while you rush to fill the void with explanations. You start bargaining for your presence. You start expressing regret for your personality. You get exhausted by this over time. Selected 1. Pay close attention to this. Curiosity does not owe you clarity. Access to observation is not something you owe. People who haven't earned your understanding don't need explanations. Silence is a filter that God created. People who are supposed to know you will treat you with dignity. Those who merely wish to evaluate, contrast, or exert control will stay at a distance. When you give an explanation too soon, you turn off the filter that God put in your life. Kindness and overexposure are often confused. Self-betrayal is not necessary for kindness. Diluting your boundaries is not a requirement of love. It is not cruel to remain silent. Wisdom comes from silence. There are times when silence will feel awkward when speaking would jeopardize the peace. Your nervous system might respond. Your thoughts might race. However, that pain is a necessary component of your recovery. You are discovering that, despite not being completely understood, you are safe. You are discovering that your value is independent of how everyone perceives you. Selected 1. Repeatedly explaining yourself encourages people to ask you more questions. It teaches them that you can compromise your authority. On the contrary, silence creates stability. It conveys assurance. It lets people know that you are not easily swayed by what other people think. This has nothing to do with being aloof or conceited. It has to do with staying grounded. Your words have weight when you speak from a place of groundedness. Your words fall apart when you're speaking from a state of anxiety. Some people avoid talking to you because they want to get you to divulge more information than you should. They wish to put you to the test. They want to know if you'll overreact, overshare, or go too far. You can avoid those tests by remaining silent. Allow me to soothe your soul here. You can take a moment. You can take your time responding. Feel free to remain silent. God is not insulted by your self-control. He actually respects it. Speaking too soon caused many of the chosen ones to talk themselves out of alignment. Plans are revealed. God commanded them to remain silent. For those who are unable to carry visions, they provide explanations. They look to mouths that were never intended to validate them for approval. Quiet. God's plan. You must therefore fight the impulse to fill in every blank. Emptiness is not silence. Space is what it is. Room for judgment. Make room for God to move. Allow the truth to come out naturally. When you stop trying to explain yourself, you'll notice something powerful. People will start acting differently around you. Some people will become more polite. Some people will be uncomfortable. Some will vanish. That isn't a loss. Alignment is that. Selected 1. Your inner world is not something that everyone deserves. Not everyone is worthy of your logic. Not everyone should be aware of your motivations for your movements. God doesn't reveal everything at once. You shouldn't either. Additionally, silence teaches people how to properly approach you. Those who are meant to connect will arrive with humility, patience, and sincere interest. Those who aren't will continue to be observed. This is soul-saving mental therapy. Let go of the need to be understood. Let go of the desire to win everyone over. Let go of the notion that being silent equates to being rejected. You are not imperceptible. You're safe. Those who depend on manipulation are unnerved by your unexplained calm. Those who thrive on control are intimidated by your quiet confidence. Additionally, exercising self-control saves your energy for the important things. Selected 1. You're about to enter a time when your presence speaks for itself. When needed, word will be spoken. Let silence do what it was intended to do until then. Power is protected by silence, and your power was never intended to be justified. Section 7. The change is imminent. Soon, they'll talk in different ways. Selected 1. I want you to listen to this section calmly, because tension is replaced by hope here. The quiet you have been feeling is temporary. It's seasonal. Additionally, God designs has an expiration date for each season. There's going to be a change, and you can already sense it subtly developing. Those who once silently observed you won't always do so. What's the difference? Not that you'll become someone you're not. The distinction is that what God has been forming in you will be completed, and uncertainty will give way to clarity. Many people are unsure of how to respond to you at the moment because they do not yet see your fit. They perceive direction and depth, but the invisible form has not yet fully materialized. When discussing what they can define, people speak with confidence. They do not say anything. Even though it is still unfolding, it never remains hidden for long. Preparation becomes apparent at a certain point. It becomes indisputable when it is present, when the silent power you've been carrying starts to bear fruit, and the interaction's tone changes when that occurs. People who used to stare warily will start speaking respectfully. Previously aloof people will now come forward with inquiries. Individuals who previously understated will reevaluate their statements. Truth developed, not because you demanded it. Selected 1. God shields you from unwarranted acclaim and criticism in this way. People's opinions would mold you if they spoke too soon. They would discourage you if they made a hasty judgment. While God completes his work, you remain free in silence. I want you to realize that this is incredibly healing. The silence you are currently experiencing is proof that others are still unable to fully understand your life. It's a gift, too. God continues to write. There aren't many interruptions, so the plot stays intact. Unbeknownst to you, many of you are getting closer to being recognized. However, initial recognition is not loud. It manifests as minute changes in how you are perceived by others. A shift in the way they talk to you. A silence before they start talking. Out of respect, not fear. Silence changes at this point. Once uncomfortable silence transforms into attentive silence. People start paying closer attention. They consider what they say. They no longer talk casually in your presence. A settlement has occurred. Selected 1. This shift will be evident to you when you don't feel the need to analyze responses. God does not elevate chaos when peace takes the place of analysis and you stop worrying about what other people think because it no longer controls you. He makes stability better. Additionally, stability takes time to observe. As clarity grows, those who were never meant to walk with you will gradually fade away. Naturally, those who are in agreement will come forward. They won't need to be recruited. God will bring people together. Your heart must be protected by humility in this situation as well. Do not allow pride to take the place of peace when people start speaking differently. Recall how you were trained by silence. Recall the times of year when you were invisible. Allow thankfulness to keep you rooted. Selected 1. Acknowledgement is not the objective. It's alignment. Simply put, recognition is the result of consistent, long-term obedience. Some of you will notice that people who used to disregard you are now asking for your input. Some people used to talk over you. Now pay attention quietly. Some people used to stay away from you. Now ask your thoughts. It's not a superiority shift. It has to do with establishing credibility via regularity. Let me be careful when I say this. Don't rush the shift. Don't try to force a conversation. Don't brag about your progress. Let it show itself. Of course, God is the only one who knows when visibility is safe. Being silent helped you gain influence without being corrupted. Additionally, this is where your discernment becomes even more acute. Not everyone who approaches is supposed to stay when someone starts talking. Some come because they think it will be beneficial. Some people arrive because they perceive progress. Your judgment will lead you. Just because someone is paying attention doesn't mean you have to open every door. Alignment is more important to you than praise. Selected 1. It will feel lighter in the upcoming season. Your inner world becomes more stable, not because life gets easier. You'll talk when you have to. When you are wise, keep quiet and move calmly. There will be less staring. The confusion will subside, and clarity will emerge from the silence. And things will be different when people do speak. There will be a shift in tone. They will shift their posture. Even if they don't understand you completely, their words will still be respected. You will come to a powerful realization at that point. The purpose of the silence was never to cause you to question yourself. It was designed to help you deal with the pressure of being heard. Have patience. Maintain alignment. Remain grounded. Selected 1. You will be able to identify the shift when it happens. Peace, not cacophony. Conclusion of Section 8. Remain motionless. The rest is in God's hands. Selected 1. Take a moment to let your thoughts rest here. There is now a name, a purpose, and a divine reason for everything you have been going through. People look at you and remain silent. Not because you're lacking. Not because you're weird. Not because you're not succeeding. Something about you carries weight, which is why they stare. Additionally, a room is always slowed down by weight. When someone is still trying to understand themselves, you should never pursue their words. God permitted you to be surrounded by silence so that your spirit could strengthen unhindered and that you could observe without justification. Thus, you would acquire inner authority, stability, and self-control. There was no waste. Keep this in mind. You're not running late. You're not in the rear. You are not disregarded. We're getting ready for you. Additionally, preparation frequently appears to be quiet. The external environment. To be accepted, you don't have to alter who you are. What God is doing in you doesn't require an explanation from you. You don't have to feel every silence or respond to every look. Your task is now easy. Maintain alignment. Remain grounded. Remain motionless. Conversations you aren't supposed to have yet are being handled by God. God is shutting the mouths of those who would speak too soon. God is keeping you safe from sounds that could disturb your tranquility. Have faith in that prior to closing the selected ones. If you felt moved by this message, provide the video's link. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon, and share this message with others you think would benefit from the clarification and comment. Stay motionless in the comments as a sign that you are spiritually aligned, divinely protected, and moving calmly through your assignment. There's more that God is doing than you can see.